Hello and welcome to Show Love. I'm Bronwen Murphy. Finding your passion in life is what gives you the energy and motivation to keep moving forward. Someone who's always inspired me is Karen Barber, Dancing on Ice's head coach, who strives to be the best she can be. Best friends with Jayne Torvill, it's great to hear of their tough start when young and wanting to succeed, but with hard work and dedication, produced amazing results being team members at the Olympics that changed all their lives. And the true love story between Karen and Christopher Dean, who both work together and live together. Great to spend the afternoon backstage with someone so dedicated and passionate. So I'm joined by Karen Barber, who used to be a professional English ice skater, the 1983 European bronze medalist, and competed at 2 Olympics with her skating partner, Nikki Slater. She's now head coach on ITV's Dancing on Ice. Karen, welcome.
Thank you. I mean, it's not like we've never met. This is amazing. This is just you and I having a chat.
I know, exactly. That's
how
why I
many
wanted to do
series
it
of
with
Dancing on Ice did we do, and how many of those
many
wonderful weekends did we share?
We did.
But yeah, this is great. Let's chat.
And we'd always have a little gossip at the side.
It's no different.
No, exactly. So I'd like to know first
Yep.
what it was like back in the 1980s when you were training so hard, competing. What are your memories of that time?
Okay, memories of that time. Obviously, everyone's going to say, oh, it was tough growing up. We didn't have a lot of money, but we know what we didn't. There wasn't the grant system really up and running as there is now. You can earn money as a skater now because of competitions, and there is prize money. In those days, there was so little. But what that did, the team that was, the British team, we all kind of pulled together and we were great. The word family is used a lot, but yeah, Chris and Jayne and I and Nikki were on the same team for 7 years.
Amazing.
And I remember the Olympics, the first Olympics particularly, we didn't have a lot of money, neither did Chris and Jayne. So Jayne and I, we've been close since I was 15. 42 years, that's a long time. But we couldn't afford to call home often, so we would alternate. So I would call my mum. My mum would call Jayne's mum. They're all right, they're okay.
Oh, that's
vice
adorable.
versa. So then Jayne would call her mum, and then Jayne's mum would call the parents, so Chris's mum and my mum. Not Nikki's mum, because she was our coach for most of that. And then when she wasn't our coach, she wasn't speaking to us. So she never got the call.
Oh, no. What, she wasn't speaking to you because you got rid of her?
It was the other way around, really. She and Nikki fell out. Coach, mum, and, all kind of got very cloudy. And she threw him out the house, so the lessons kind of went the same way.
Oh.
So then, I've kind of skipped a big chunk of our life, but we ended up in London in bedsits and things.
Because you're all northern, you're all from Manchester.
Well, I'm Manchester. Nikki was Cheshire because they were posher than we were. Chris and Jayne Nottingham, so we're like we're kind of northerners,
Yeah.
But no, great team spirit, and we'd all kind of look after each other. So memories of the 80s. It was tough, but it was amazing. Life in a bedsit. People that have lived in a bedsit will understand. You make ends meet, but you do.
So you were living in bedsits and
lived
skating
in a bedsit.
and
Well, yeah,
competing.
because Nikki's mum fell out with Nikki and refused to teach us. We then had to move to London. We had our London coach, Jimmy Young. And I was thrown into a situation where I loved home, I loved my family, but I had to leave Manchester also because my partner had decided it was the right thing for us to do. So it's like, you see people with all the belongings in a bag and they trundle onto the coach, not the train. We got a coach down to London, and the first place didn't have hot water. It was horrible, and I remember thinking, I don't know how this will work for me. And get the violin out at this point. But it was a make and break situation. I think I could quite easily have said, this is not going to happen.
So how were you paying for everything then?
By hook or by crook,
Yeah.
We would do some exhibitions and you get a little bit of money, and then that would go to our coach. And our coach did supplement us a lot. And on Tuesdays, he would cook for us because he knew that throughout the week we hadn't eaten very well.
Oh, my God. So you have to be really dedicated.
You have to, but you have to know where you're going. And you have to know why you're doing it, and that motivation. I don't think it's a bad thing. Okay, maybe it's a tough situation, but you know what? How amazing that you're doing the Olympics at 15. I was second in the world, and that kind of shaped where my future was going. And for that to happen, no, we didn't go out. We didn't have those nights out with friends, and eventually your friends kind of disappear because you say no so often. But you do have your teammates that become your new set of friends.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know what? It was tough, but it was amazing.
And that was in the
80s.
In the 80s.
Good
So
old 80s.
there was no social media. So you probably just got some old grainy photos somewhere of some moments.
And you know, occasionally on Twitter, somebody will put a picture and it's I've never even seen it.
Yeah.
Gosh, that's amazing.
Yeah, it brings back all those memories.
It does. I remember we never had a video at home, so I never saw myself skate.
Yeah.
I never knew what I looked like skating until my teacher. It's an absolute true story. My teacher, when I was in secondary school, she won the football pools.
Amazing.
She did.
My granddad always wanted to do that.
She won the football pools, and she bought a video. And she videoed me skating from the TV. It was like the World Championships.
Yeah.
And then we went round to her house and I watched myself skate. I'd never seen myself skate
And what did
before.
you think?
I thought it was all right.
Yeah, I'm all right, I am.
I thought it was all right. And I thought my dress looked lovely. But yeah, those memories, you know, there was a lot of social media now and the way things have moved on is quite unbelievable.
Well, you just have to put your name in YouTube and there's quite a lot of your performances.
Yeah, you know what? That's just the way it was, and you skated because you loved it.
Yeah, and then you were on telly.
Then I was on telly.
Yeah,
and then you know things did open up towards the end of my amateur career, and I did a blankety blank.
Amazing.
On 2 occasions, and
was that with Terry Wogan?
It was Les Dawson.
Oh, Les Dawson.
Yeah, but by then, so my amateur career finished. Nicky found religion, became a born again Christian. Within 6 weeks, he had met somebody and was going to get married. So my life changed from my bedsit. Nicky had found the new focus in his life, which is fantastic, which is great. By coincidence, fortunately, Chris and Jayne's world tour had come to Wembley. And I went and stayed with Jayne for a week, and I saw the lifestyle, the way that they could perform. They still skated, but they had a life.
Yeah.
And I just thought, I felt stranded when Nicky found religion and found his new wife to be.
Well, you would, because that was your partner.
Yeah,
so.
And he was honest with me, and he said his obligations and responsibilities had changed, and it was, I can't remember which way he put it now, whether it was religion first. It must have been his future wife, and it was religion, and then it was me. So, I understood I wasn't the priority, is what he said.
Mm.
So Chris and Jayne came to town. I went and stayed with Jayne, and Jayne and I were walking down the street. We'd gone to buy some milk. We were making a cup of tea. And I didn't look at her. I just said, if I asked for a job, will there be one? And she didn't look back, and she went, yes. And we just carried on walking.
Oh, you too adorable.
So that night, I literally, watching their show, made up my mind. My amateur career had ended in my heart, and this was an opportunity for me to be with friends.
Yeah.
They would look after me, and I would still skate.
Yeah.
So I asked for a job for Nicky as well. The next day I went in to train, because quite often he wouldn't turn up to train and I would just be there by myself. And he said he was he was waiting for a sign, which isn't funny, but I didn't know what to do, what this sign was.
You're still friends now, though, you and Nicky, right?
Anyway, so I was waiting for a sign.
Okay.
He's a funny fish.
Yeah. Okay.
And I do tell him, he's not news to him.
Yeah.
So I said, okay.
We're all different. That's what makes a world.
We're all special. And I said, we've been to see Chris and Jayne, and I've got us a job. And he just said, it's not for me.
Oh.
Because part of the show was heaven and hell, and he refused to skate in the hell section. I was like, I'm off, mate. I'm off. I'm off. Gave notice on my bedsit, and I literally toddled on with my suitcase. And I had £200 to my name out of all my years of skating, and I was 26 years old.
Wow.
And
that's still so young, though.
Maybe I was 24. Anyway, it was the mid-20s. And so joined Chris and Jayne, actually in Nottingham. I learnt the show from watching it, and then suddenly someone's injured, and I was put in. Suddenly I was in all of the show. Wow. I was in most numbers. From there, we went to Canada, we went to America, we went to Australia. We did that again twice round this world tour for 18 months.
And back in those days, I mean, I'd never heard of ice skating before I saw that, Torvill and Dean win the gold. It wasn't as popular then, was it, as it is now? Or
okay, so Chris and Jayne were popular. Skating kind of was about Chris and Jayne.
Yeah, but before them...
No, there was Robin won a gold medal, Robin Cousins, John Curry. So 76, John Curry won gold, 80, Robin Cousins won gold. So we had gold medalists, but
it's
not
great.
The depth that we have. I think every household is aware of ice skating now.
Yes, yeah.
So yeah, we went on tour. We had an amazing time.
I wish I'd known about it when I was young.
It was fantastic. You know, you're playing to 10 and 15,000 people in stadiums. And the way they looked after us, the hotels, it was a life for me. I'd gone from a bedsit, counting the pennies, to being paid being paid well for a job I loved.
Yeah.
I remember I made friends with a Swiss girl that was in our company called Salome, and I went shopping, and I didn't even have a proper bank account, and I kept putting the money in my drawer, the money that we used to get like a per diem where you would be paid for your incidentals.
Yeah.
And this was more money that I probably normally have.
Yeah.
And I would go shopping with her, and she said at one point, Karen, you cannot buy everything you see. And I said, I think I can. And I did.
It was like you won the pool.
It was
suddenly.
like I found, do you know that there's two sides to life, you know, and it gives you that amazing balance, the side where you have to be careful, and that gives you your backbone. And then there's that other side where you go, I can have that other pair of shoes.
Yeah.
And handbag. And maybe the jacket.
So how did you fall in love with skating when you were a young girl?
Okay, so as a youngster, my mum was very aware that, you know, we had a hobby. And it was, the ice rink at the time wasn't too far away. It was a one bus ride. But within 2 months, the ice rink closed. So I'm from Manchester. The ice rink was in Cheetham Hill, which is a 10-minute bus ride. The ice rink closed. So the nearest ice rink was then Altrincham, which was an hour and a half on the bus. It was 2 buses.
Oh, blimey.
One into Manchester
no.
and one out. But by
Again,
then,
you've got to be so dedicated.
Again, but my mum, obviously very naive, she said because you could buy a dance with the instructor. So when it was a dance interval, you bought a ticket and you could dance with the instructor. So my mum wanted to buy a ticket so I could dance, but I couldn't skate. And she said to the instructor, when can she do a waltz? But the thing was, I couldn't even go backwards. I couldn't do anything, but mum just wanted me to dance.
Had you been dancing up until that point then?
No, I was just going round and round, but my mum thought it looked so lovely that I should obviously be able to waltz. Yeah, my first teacher was Steve Boardman, and he just said, not yet. If she practices hard. So the ethic was I had to practice before I could do all the dances. And my mum and dad would pay for me to have one lesson, which was 20 minutes a week.
Wow.
And it was, you know, the family, they worked hard to give me those extra things because I have a sister and we both had to have the same. So then my sister she tried many things. She tried skating. She got the outfit, didn't like it. She went singing. She went tap dancing. She liked the outfit. She would collect whatever uniform or outfit was necessary. Yeah. And then she wouldn't like it.
She got bored.
She got so bored. And but I would stick at it, and that's all I ever wanted to do. I'm not very sporty, but I love to dance.
Yeah.
So ice skating is...
So had you trained in dance, though? I mean, were you doing like ballet and...
No, I just used to dance in the living room.
Like disco dancing?
No, whatever music was on the radio. I knew I
brilliant.
used to dance to it. I was a little bit of a... Yeah.
And then putting it on ice is such an elegant thing to do.
It's beautiful because ice skating is somewhere between sport and art.
Yeah.
And it kind of blurs the lines because it is so beautiful, but it is so athletic. And in fact, ice dance wasn't... considered an Olympic sport, unlike figure skating, which is all your jumps. Ice dance, which is what Chris and Jayne and I do, wasn't considered Olympic sport until 1976.
Wow.
So
it's just the right timing. It kind of
perfect time.
Happened all at the right time.
Perfect time.
Isn't that funny? You can sometimes be in the right place at the right time.
Right place, right for many things.
Yes. We'll come on to that later.
Many things.
So you used to be a judge on Dancing on Ice.
Yes.
You're now the head coach.
Yes.
There's a lot of celebrities out there because we're backstage now.
Yes,
Dancing on Ice. And you're on a little break and you've been coaching them all week.
Yeah.
You've got the live show tomorrow.
Yeah. Along with Dan Whiston, who is my business partner, but also a former student of mine at the age of 15. I was Dan's coach.
And he's a lovely man.
He's so amazing. We've gone through life together, became a coach and student, that changed to a friendship, into a business partnership. He's been there for me. I've been there for him.
And when you say business partnership, you're coaching together, is that?
We have 6 Subways. We franchise Subway.
Yeah, no, this is a whole other thing. You're a businesswoman with Subways.
So this is a kind of that boozy conversation 2 skaters have when they think there's a point where you can't physically rely on being present to earn your money. So you go, what else can we do? What else can we invest our money in? Because you want to think that at some point you don't need to get up at 4:30 in the morning, which I did 6 days a week. For 21 years, I was head of coaching in Blackburn Ice Rink. And you think, how do I reinvest in myself without me physically having to be that earning power?
Yeah.
So, it was a glass of wine. And Dan and I, he has friends that franchise Subway. And we just met up and we had a chat. And we decided that between the 4 of us, that's Anne and Ben Wade, who are a married couple, that Dan's known Anne from being a child. we are this little business.
Yeah, that's
kind
brilliant.
of grown and grown into.
I don't think many people would know you could franchise Subway. If it's a great earner, I'm in.
It is a great earner. It's, I think, one of the top 3 franchises in the world. There's more outlets than McDonald's, but it's being with the right people, and Anne and Ben are the right people for us. Because they hold it together while Dan and I are able to do other things. So it's that perfect situation where we've got people we work with and we trust, but we don't have to be there. My Subways have been open since 7 o'clock this morning.
Really?
I've been in Bovingdon. You know what? And they're going to be open till about 10 or 11 o'clock tonight. But
and do you ring them to see how they're doing in the day?
No,
or they just...
No, I just know that they're in good hands. And,
I love it. Do you eat a lot because you've got a great figure?
Well, being of a certain age, you've got to decide. Being a sports person, then your body does change when you don't train as hard. And obviously, having my girls, they're 26 and 28, but that's not an excuse. I can't blame the kids anymore.
And I was going to say, mum as well.
Mum as well.
How do you fit that in with the Subways, the businesswoman, the head coach?
Yeah, it's management skills. Apparently, I'm very good at organising. And I'm very good at pointing and saying, can you do that? Can you do that?
Delegating.
I'm a great delegator. But I always think if you prepare the night before, the day is going to be easier. So I do my catch-up time.
Yeah. And you still manage to look so glamorous. How's that? Yeah, you do.
Well, you know what? It's time management. And, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. That my granddad always said that to me. And also, don't put it off, do it now. And I live by those things.
That is so good.
Don't put it off, do it now.
Yeah.
And so I found, okay, we'll share this. I found this thing on Alexa, this 5-minute plank. If you can't find 5 minutes in your day, you don't either have the motivation or the urge. So if you can find 5 minutes, it's a 5-minute plank. And you say to Alexa, just that, 5-minute plank. And it's a series of exercises that take on different plank positions, and you tone up.
What does Alexa tell you? How to do them?
Tells you what to do. So first,
right.
So if I can't get to the gym or I can't go on a brisk walk, I have to find 5 minutes. And otherwise, I cheat myself, and I've got no excuse.
The thing is that you're talking about, because you're very dedicated and very fit, and if you're on the dancing on ice rink, or any skating rink, from what time? 6 in the morning.
Well, I average 10 to 12 hours a day. I started at 9 yesterday. I finished at 9 last night.
And if you don't do that, you go for walks, you go to the gym, or you do a bank.
Because when I coach, I'm very comfortable on the ice, so I'm not working physically. Right. I'm not getting out of breath. But if I then haven't had time to go to the gym, some people go, I can't afford a gym membership. Well, no, maybe you can't. But
you could do it in your front room.
But walk up and downstairs for 5 minutes. Yeah. I always say to my girls, you can't not do things and then say, I need to do this. Sort it out.
Yeah.
Sort it out.
No, sort it out.
Manage it.
Get out of bed and do it.
5 minutes.
Do you have a morning routine? A lot of successful people have morning routines.
We do. And whatever time we leave the house, this is more Chris than me, but he's so strict on timing because he's very efficient. I think I am, but he's very efficient. That's why he won Olympics and I was only 6.
We haven't said up until this point that you live with Christopher Dean, your partner. Yeah. Very much in love.
Yeah, all good. We have a wonderful life and we are able to work together. We live together, we travel together, we share the same passions in our jobs, we share so much, we have so much in common. But we've been best friends over 40 years.
It's amazing.
It takes, we kind of travelled the road, parallel lines together.
So you knew each other very well.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So best friends that fell in love.
Best friends.
Yeah.
And we enjoy each other's company. I really look forward to seeing him.
Well, you work with him all the time and live with him.
I know, and if I can't see him, we search each other out. We get texts. We do. We text. Where are you?
That so much.
Yeah, well, sort it out.
Sort it out. Get out of
bed.
Yeah.
But no, we kind of digress. But yeah, if we have a leaving time, and being on a show like this, you have a schedule.
Yeah.
It's not that I turn up. You have a schedule because there's so many people are kind of working to the same schedule or relying on you to be there. So whatever that time is, an hour and a half before the alarm's set.
Yeah.
And it goes, okay, coffee in bed, a little bit of news, showers, whatever we need to do, breakfast, leave the house. No stress. Everything like my clothes are laid out the night before. Why? Because
good.
I don't like the panic.
Yeah.
My choice.
Yeah.
I'd rather have 5 minutes the night before
and
than
go right. Yeah.
Scuttle around.
Good idea.
Finding that sock.
Yeah.
You found one, can't find the other.
Yeah.
Lay it out the night before. Why would you not?
Yeah. Well, people aren't that organised, though. No, it's true.
It's not organised. It's efficient because then the next morning you're going to be 10 or 15 minutes looking for one thing.
Yeah, yeah. And then you're stressed. And it starts the day off wrong.
And then you start the day, and then you drive fast.
Yeah.
You try and do the makeup in the car. Because I used to do that.
Yeah.
When my life was chaos. But this is like, no, I'm not going to do that.
But you've got to take control of your life sometimes.
It's not cool to run into an ice rink, trying to pick up your first lesson. It doesn't look good.
Yeah.
At my age, it's not age appropriate to start running in an ice rink. Like, you completely... And I hate walking into work unprepared. I need to know who I'm coaching first. Yeah. I need to know what the music is. So Monday morning, after the glamour of the Sunday evening show, that's a blank piece of paper. There is no show.
Are you not tired on a Monday morning after the show?
No, well, we don't do the bar. We can't. Right. You can't go in and we have a very quiet drink at the end of the show with Jayne. We sit down or we go and have time with our physio, Max and Sharon, and with Dan. A little debrief. It's just that moment where, you don't have to talk, you don't have to, because you just have that little bit of quiet time and you go home. Because the next day is full on 10 or 11 hours where you have to produce the next week's routines alongside of the pros and the celebrities. But if you scramble into that, number one, your work isn't going to be good. You're not going to feel good about what you've done, and you never catch up. So when you get up on Monday morning and you start again, have you prepared anything, or is it right now we've got to think of the next week? The first 2 weeks we were good because we had the time before Christmas, so we got week 1 and week 2's routines kind of mostly done. But as soon as we finish this show this week, it starts again. Yeah, you are so good at your job. I love it. I really love it, but it doesn't get given to you. Yeah. Put the work in. That's why I wanted to do this with you, because you are quite an inspiration. I've told you that for many years. Well, I do love that you say that, but it's okay. My granddad said to me, my granddad was a big influence, be the best you can be. And every day I used to go to sleep and say, what have I achieved today? This was my motivation when I was in a school in Manchester when nobody skated. And I got a little bit of the mickey taken out of me because I was an ice skater. But that's okay. To be different, sometimes you do get that attention because you are different. Well, that's how you succeed sometimes. But that's fine. Yeah. And then when I went back for a school reunion about, let's say about 5 years later, the amount of prams that were pushed into that reunion, I mean, that's lovely. Really? And I was like, oh, this is awkward. Because I've just done the Olympics. I've just come back from China and I'm about to go to America. I'm thinking, no, I don't feel awkward at all. No, that's amazing. It's that moment where I have closure. I do have closure. But you know what? You set out to, and my girls are amazing. They're beautiful, but they do have that drive. Why would you not? Yeah, they don't skate, though. They didn't like it because it was cold. What did they say? Mum, too cold and it's too early. Yeah. No. But they are just... That's why I'd never go on a skiing holiday. Amazing examples. It's a lot of exercise in the cold. The après ski. Lie in the sun. The après ski. I'm sure you love it. Very lovely. So, yeah. So there's the 6 subways. Let's think about it. The 6 subways that are growing and growing. The clip and climb that Dan and I have done with Dan and Ben in Blackpool, which is an indoor climbing centre. So, which is fine. But then we put a mezzanine floor, which is a 50-seater cafe, and we sourced all local produce, so it's beautiful quality food. So some people would just stop with one thing like that, but you've got that as well. Got that as well. 5 houses that I've, along with my ex-husband Steve, and we've bought, renovated, and they're being rented out. So there's that side of my brain. Tropic Skincare, I'm ambassador for Tropic Skincare. So we'll talk about that in a minute. We'll get you on the tropics. Yeah. I used to do all sorts. I used to sell different things to save money to get married. When I was on the road doing Holiday on Ice for 4 years, I sold Herbalife. And that money paid for our wedding. Because my parents paid so much for my skating. Stephen and I, we financed our own wedding. So, yeah, I just feel like you've got downtime. Yeah. I mean, don't just switch off. So you've got this in Blackpool and around the northwest. It's northwest, yeah. But you live in Colorado Springs, in the mountains. The mountains, yeah. How do you fit that in when you're there? Well, I've now just done my driving test in America. I've got my work visa, so I'm coaching over there. Amazing. So it just is a lovely life, and we could do a podcast on just for business. But yeah, I don't like just to sit and do nothing. I'm always thinking of different things. Of course, yeah. Is it beautiful out there? I bet it's glorious. Is it? Absolutely glorious. It sounds unreal, but we have bears in the garden. We live on the side of a mountain, so we don't have a garden. We have a garden as such, but it's just nature. And it's just you and Chris, isn't it? Yes, and Chris's boys live very walking distance, so that was the reason we chose where we are. So he was near the boys who are much younger than my girls. So we have a large deck area, but you can look down at the bears.
Amazing.
And the little cubs and the deer. Bobcat, we had a mountain lion not long ago.
God, it sounds
a mountain
gorgeous.
Lion. But you don't ever walk the dog dawn and dusk, because the mountain lion would
eat it.
Be a little bit of supper for the dog.
Oh my God!
So
you've got a dog out there as well.
Well, it's the boys' doggy. So when the boys stay with us, we have the little doggy. He's my shadow. He's my absolute.
That's Chris's boys.
Chris's boys.
You've got the two
Sam
girls.
and Jack. I've got my 2 girls, Emma and Laura.
And do they live with you, or they over here, or?
Chris's boys?
No,
my girls. Emma's in Newcastle. She's manager of a letting agency.
Right.
Hive.
Got a mum's business brain.
She's amazing. And Laura is qualified in hair and makeup for TV and film.
Oh, great.
She's currently working locally. She's going to a new job and she's kind of moving up the ladder. Both got fantastic partners. Emma's just engaged, looking to get married next year. They bought their first house. Yeah. They've just got their first puppy, so I'm a grandma.
Oh my God, puppy.
Little Harley.
So coming back to Dancing on Ice, eventually Jason Gardner recognised how wonderful you are, which I'm glad. Said on Loose Women recently, I have so much praise for that woman because she is remarkable in her job. So that's lovely, right?
It is lovely. And you know what? I think you can look at life in 2 ways. Mine is it's too short. I lost my dad when he was 60, and it was a big shock to us. So I have an attitude where try not to say no to things. Don't hold grudges.
Yeah.
Having said that, if you really treat me badly, I'm not going to be the best person for you to deal with. But Jason and I, we had a moment, and that moment, it wasn't nice, and it was in public, and it was embarrassing, and I reacted right or wrong. And then for a while after that, we had no contact because we hadn't had that moment where we talked it out. So
you need some space sometimes. Yeah.
We did, and then the following series, I remember just I don't know what I'm like. I'm just going up to his dressing room and knocking on his door. This was like 12 months later.
Yeah, came out of nowhere, did it?
I knocked on his door. I don't know what made me do it. Well, I do. Knocked on his door and he opened the door. Like, you imagine the terror in his eyes when I'm standing there. And I just said, we need to talk. You need to know how much you upset me before we can actually take another step. And we talked it out.
Great, that's
and
good.
then, the series ended for 4 years. And we came back with a different respect for each other, I think.
You've got to talk. You've got to keep talking.
Oh, I'm like, literally, I hate arguments. But don't push me to the point where I'm now in a corner, because I will react.
Yeah, well, people
but I will be polite.
For years,
I will be polite. I won't lose my temper. But you know what? I have to say, every show of this series, he's found me and he's congratulated me and just said, what an amazing show. And I really...
Well, you're brilliant.
Glad.
That's why.
I'm glad, and that it just makes me feel good.
And going back to previous series, I looked after you.
You did. Looked after us very well. We miss you, by the way.
Bless you for saying that. And I once took a photo of you and Christopher next to each other, hugging and smiling. And you said that was his favourite photo. I loved that.
And it was quite poignant, because it was our last show of what we thought was our final Dancing on Ice. And it was the final, and it was taken on his phone. As simple as that.
Yeah.
And that photograph has been used so many times. He's put it on glass, and it's in our house, like in kind of a very big photograph now. It's my screensaver.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, please send it to me, and I'll let the people
of course.
Yeah, so they can see it.
It's my screensaver. It's on his desk in his office.
Oh.
So that picture is all around our house.
That makes me feel so happy. I love a love story, you know that.
It's my screensaver for my iPad and my phone.
Oh, thanks so much, Karen, for telling us all about your life. I know you've got to go off now and carry on coaching. So I really appreciate.
This room is kind of where it just goes a little bit calmer.
Yeah, it's really quiet, actually. I thought it was going to be.
It's my little room. This is where I plan.
With the flowers.
Yes.
And the showbiz dresses. And
yes.
You've got the best coats. They're like really good for like winter.
Do you know what? There is a selection. And it's very funny because I choose whatever. Plan your outfit. Plan your handbag with your outfit. Don't just kind of rattle in.
You're so glamorous.
Plan it. It just takes few minutes and also plan that week ahead.
One last question.
Yes.
Do the ice skates not hurt your feet?
Absolutely. I've got new skates, and I haven't had new skates for 10 years because I thought if Dance on Ice was gone away, I didn't need a new pair of boots. So my old boots got worse and worse and worse.
How often would you wear an old pair of boots?
Well, these ones lasted 10 years, which is
because they're leather,
ridiculous.
aren't they? They're really nice.
So, and I think they've made skates different nowadays. And since the last time I got new boots, which was 10 years ago, so I'm not happy in my boots. I have sore feet, but then I've got 12 hours is a long time to have the boots on.
Yeah, right.
So I'm kind of...
That's what... you should get some like Ugg boots. Can you get any like that?
Well, I've got me comfy boots. Yeah. And I've also, if you look under there, I've got my slippers.
I always remember you and your slippers and your rollers.
All right, too far. Because I've got my dressing gown as well. You have to have right things for the right time, right?
Oh, thanks so much, Karen. You're so adorable.
This wasn't work. This was just us catching up, yeah.
It was.
Oh,
thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Oh. Thank you so much, Karen. Makes you want to just jump out of bed and make things happen, doesn't she? I adore her and her energy. That's it for now. Love you for listening. And don't forget to show love. Show Love would like to thank Ollie Trevors for the song Saucy Naughty Rubbish, Danny Wright for the song Staying In, and Pete Smith and Alex McCardle for their kindness, ears and talent. Follow us on Facebook, Show Love UK, or Twitter and Instagram at Show Love UK, or email with your views to showloveuk@gmail.com.
So much to get through, I know I'll start it in a minute or two. Lay back in bed, reminisce instead. Let's plan it all in my head. Procrastination, self-stimulation, instant gratification. I'm self-medicating, therapist recommending more meditating, wasted education. I need more admiration, and I don't wanna bother with today. I pretty much missed it anyway. Might as well stay, and I don't wanna bother with today. I pretty much missed it anyway. Might as well stay, I'm staying in. Come dine with me, repeat it on channel 3. I watch it cause I'm feeling hungry. Try and shift the mood, so I order Chinese food. Said fuck it, just keep the change, dude. Finance situation, spent on dedication. Dreams of Wembley Stadium and my name carved in the pavement.